This is a Samsung Galaxy Tab S8. Probably heard of it. It's the latest, greatest, best Samsung or basically Android tablet I think you can get. Well, the 8 series anyway. 8, 8 Plus, 8 Ultra, all that jazz. But I don't think that it's a bad thing the S9 isn't here yet. And I've talked about this before when it comes to product launch cycles. I don't necessarily think we always need a new one every year. And this might sound, contradictory because of my phone lifestyle. But of course, one, I buy them because I know I have a phone addiction. And also I like to make videos about it, but I like to cover them. It's exciting for me. It's my job now. So I like phones. It's kind of been my thing forever. And this right here is a great illustration of why I don't think that we need necessarily a new tablet every 12 months. Because one, if you take a look at the support system, the Tab S8 supported 4 years operating system updates, 5 years of security patches. That's a long time. And they're a pretty significant investment, especially talking about price tags. If you get the S8 Ultra, the S8 Plus, it's got some great hardware in it. And I think when you take a look at the Tab S8, you also take a look at the Surface Duo 2, you take a look at the economic climate, there's a good case to say that this is still a really good tablet. Why do we need to go ahead and rush another one out? Maybe we can let it linger a little bit longer, keep supporting it, keep developing it, and then we'll launch maybe an even better product a little bit later in the launch cycle, maybe like a year and a half into it. And there's been some funny business going on with the tablet launches over the last couple of years. We had the S5e for a long time before the 6 came out. I've been using the Tab S series tablets. The S2 was my very first one. I think Samsung makes fantastic tablets. I love One UI. And this just got One UI 5.1 the other day. So you've got the latest software support. It's only a year old. And here's another thing. It has the Snapdragon 8 Generation 1. I know I've had complaints about that in the phone. But here's the thing. If you look at how thin this is a Tab S8. Also the Plus and the Ultra. Very, very thin. They also have the same processor as the S22 Ultra last year. S22, S22 Plus. Same hardware platform. But look at how much more space you have. So that means you have a lot more room for air circulation, passive cooling, and all that other stuff. The Tab S8 doesn't seem to suffer as poorly from heat and battery life, dropping and stuff like that. So I haven't really noticed it being as much of a problem with the tablets, especially because they have much larger batteries. And yes, inversely proportional, you also have the very large screen. So when you take a look at it size and dimension wise, yes, it does have a bigger battery, but it's also a bigger tablet. It's a bigger device. So you're going to burn up more battery as you use it on a size by size comparison. However, with the Snapdragon 8 Generation 1, with the Tab S8, and surely I'm thinking the same thing with the Plus and the Ultra. I don't have the Plus and the Ultra, but people that I know that have them are still very happy with them. I was just talking to a buddy of mine the other day that has the Ultra, and he's like, I don't really care the S9 is not here yet. I'm very happy with my S8 Ultra. It works great for me. It's a big, gigantic tablet, and it's no slouch. And yes, the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2 is more powerful. Every time we get a new chip that comes out every year, shoot, every 6 months. We got the 8 Gen 1 last year, and then the fall we had the 8 Plus Gen 1. Now we have the 8 Gen 2. This fall, presumably, we'll have the 8 Plus Generation 2. And I think that's worth waiting for. And I think probably, and especially with the writing on the wall, with the rumors that we're seeing for this fall, probably going to get the S9 around then. Also looking at possibly like a Tab S8 FE, maybe even a revitalization and resurrection of the FE phone line, which I think is very important. Contrary to what I thought in the beginning with the S21 FE, yeah, I didn't like how they launched it 3 weeks before the S22 and they wanted too much money for it, but it ended up being a really good phone for a lot of people, and I like the FE series, so I'd like to see that come back. But for me, this is still a really good tablet, and I've also talked about in the past, I've largely replaced my tablet usage with my Fold. And the great thing about the Fold is one, well, it's much smaller than this, very portable, very lightweight, very easy to use, and a lot lower footprint for whenever I'm traveling around and doing things. But for those who still like the tablet, and of course I do still like the tablet, I have this. I even have my iPad Pro with the M1 that I got last year. No need to upgrade that one either. The problem is when you get a lot of these applications, application as far as hardware and the performance, they're so high powered now, you don't necessarily need to get a new one every year. And talking about, you can make the same argument for phones. When it comes to the latest and greatest hardware, largely, people that are buying them, there's people like me who are the enthusiasts who just have to have the latest and greatest, but largely it's people who have not had an upgrade or a new product in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And for those people, the upgrades are critical. It's great to have something great available at the store when they go buy it. So my thought process on this, just like I made a video before about the Surface Duo 2, there's not enough people out there necessarily that I think are going to pay $1,600 year over year for a new Duo, but the way that this hardware is, the way that Microsoft is, and they've actually supported it much better than I thought they were going to, it's continued to be a very, very good device. I mean, basically the Surface Duo 2 fixed all the problems I had with the original Duo. I still wish we had some sort of like an exterior notification screen, but I feel the same way about my Tab S8. It's still very good. It does everything I need it to do. It does everything my S23 Ultra does, as far as from like a performance, day-to-day reliability perspective, all that stuff. So when we talk about chasing the hardware and chasing the specs, tablets, I feel like, hold up a little bit better when it comes to phones. I don't know why. It's just, they just feel more timeless to me. And maybe that's because there's so many less flavors. Maybe that's because sometimes the upgrade cycles might be a little bit longer on them. But that doesn't leave me long in the tooth for a Tab S9. I feel like this one has hit its stride. I feel like it's doing really well. I feel like the Tab S8 is a great tablet. I like having the 11-inch smaller size form factor. I don't feel the need for a 14.6-inch monster tablet. And I had the 12.4-inch last year when it came to the Tab S7 Plus, and largely I found myself really gravitating towards the Tab S7. I love the Tab S6. Do I wish the Tab S8 had an AMOLED panel instead of an LCD panel? Sure I do. But the LCD is probably the best LCD that I've ever seen in any sort of a portable product. Excellent LCD. You've got the speaker set up on here. You've got 128 gigabytes of storage, 8 gigs of RAM. You've got expandable SD card slot. And one thing I really love the 16:10 aspect ratio. And that shows up really cool because you have the camera that's up here. You have the dedicated camera up top. So when you're in landscape mode, which is traditionally how you use this, the camera's sitting right there in your face. And also the accessories are really good. I love the Samsung keyboard cover cases. I think they work great. I think they're nice, responsive. They work well. I love DeX. I don't really use DeX with my Fold or with my phones, but I actually really enjoy using it with the tablet. And it's so nice because all you have to do is just connect it and it instantly puts it into DeX mode whenever you have the screen on. So it's really nice. I think the desktop level support software experience is really key when it comes to the Tab series tablets. And that's something I think that the tablets from Samsung actually offer a more desktop-like experience than you get with the iPad. So having used this, having had it for over a year now, and sitting around when the S23 came out thinking, I haven't heard much about the S9, and I don't really care. I'm perfectly happy with this. It suits my needs. It comes with the S Pen. The S Pen works perfectly fine. Longevity, support, and I think very fair prices, especially when you look at how well it holds up over time. I think Samsung makes the best tablets that are out there. And again, I have both. I have the iPad Pro 12.9-inch with the M1 chip in it. Fantastic tablet. I have the Tab S8. I'll get the Tab S9 when it comes out. I've been covering the Samsung tablets for a long time. And I think they're great products. And if you were waiting on the fence to get an S9, if you got to wait till this fall, I think the S8 series is still a really good pickup, especially if you can get one on a good deal, sale, trade-in prices, all that stuff. It can work really well for you for a long time. And I think largely it is more immune to some of the problems that the phones had that had the Snapdragon 8 Generation 1 as opposed to the tablet, just because it's better able to handle some of those things when it comes to heat dissipation, and some of the stuff that really plagued the battery life and required a lot of throttling, especially from Samsung, which of course, that didn't end well. But anyway, I like the Tab S8, fantastic tablet. I think it's the best series tablets that Samsung's ever made. And again, I don't necessarily think I don't think it needs an every 12-month upgrade. There's nothing going on that most people are going to go, you know what? I got to ditch this S8 to get an S9 as quickly as possible, because these are very top-end, high premium quality level tablets. So that's all I got in this video. If you have any questions or comments, please go down in the comment section. I will get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, if you found this helpful, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.